Well. We are now live. And as I do with any live video, I shall take a sip of water. Yep. Wets the whistle, clears the throat, and gets started into it. So today's live video is a little bit of a Q&A, so questions and answers. So any topic or anything out there that you want to know about, pick my brain through, happy to answer. It can be about absolutely anything. Chuck it out there. And if I don't know, I have 7 days to research it and come back to you in those next 7 days. So next Monday live. So you can be anonymous, so you can privately message or DM, or you can comment below and chuck it out there. So yeah, Q&A, anything that you want to know about. So yeah, because my name's Karl, I'm the founder of Vitruvian Health, and we prioritize consistency, lifestyle, or mindset, lifestyle, training, and nutrition. So we believe in those being the 5 key areas to improve anyone's health or well-being, and we're working one priority at a time. We're on a live video, and we are also on Facebook and YouTube, and working on more ways to promote, so we'll work out other ways to do that as well. But today is to talk about toes over knees. So it's a big thing at the moment, so it's being really pushed out there. There's a gentleman who really works on that, so it's known as the knees over toes guys, named Ben Patrick. And quite honestly, the guy, Ben Patrick, I like his stuff. Gymnastics-based background, very bodyweight movements. But what's happening now is that a lot of people are posting about it, and they're coming up with all these terrible exercises, or they're giving people reasons to preload or load the joint. And the methodology behind this is, not great. There's no method or reason for doing certain things. So I'm a true believer in doing everything 100% on point. If it's not correct, then regress it, don't progress it. But a lot of the time, a lot of people that are on social media now, they're all about progressing it. It's all about getting more likes, and like, stop, the message is being lost. So I'm really here to kind of rant and get that over and out. So to quickly discuss what does that mean, and I'll quickly demo with my lovely knee, is that when the knee, so my ankle is stacked, it's believed that the knee shouldn't go past the toes. So my toe is right here, and I'll actually do it on the floor so we can all see. So what we have is the foot, and the knee shouldn't go past that. It would cause harm. Now, the thing is, the knee absolutely has that ability, and I can even sit on my knees, and my knees haven't exploded across the floor. I can hold a weight, same thing. So it's not going to cause harm, is what people have been led to believe. Now, what I'm not a fan of is people saying that, okay, well, what you need to do before you train for a heavy squat session or leg session is you need to do split squats. Now, that is correct. However, doing a split squat where you go past your ankle's range of movement. So if this is my ankle, that's as far as I can go. My hamstring contacts my calf. That is my range. Now, what people are doing is they're going for excessive range of movement, so they're up on their toe, creating instability from the ankle, and then they're wobbling in the knee, and they're increasing their range of movement. Your hamstring and calf contact. That is the end range of the joint, the knee. Muscles in the way. If you push this past its range, then it needs to, with load, one, you've already pushed yourself past your ankle's range of movement, causing instability. So you now are unstable from the foot. Your hip is probably tight from sitting down all day. And then you're going to push your knee past that. I don't know about you, but if you're going to chuck load onto that, that is not a good combination and shouldn't be forced. If you want to get better at squatting and you want to warm yourself up for a squat, squat. The toes over knee guy, Chris Patrick, and I haven't looked into a lot of stuff, but from what I've looked at, he's educating people that your knee can go past your toe. Correct. You can progressively load the knee joint past the toe. Correct. You're strengthening rectus femoris. But when he does it, he is not promoting it to force more instability to the knee joint. That's like me balancing on a Swiss ball on my tippy toe, putting a barbell on my back, with a bunch of change and random weights on it, like 100 on one and 50 on the other, and looking to stabilize that whilst I push that knee forward. That's a disaster waiting to happen. He's all about, the thing is with these movements, you're promoting ankle mobility, so improving the joint integrity and then strengthening it through that range of movement. The knee and the hip, and also your posture in your spine. So this doesn't give permission for people to now start pushing their body to extreme lengths where they have no control or stability and luckily get out of it and go, that was a great workout. It's not a workout. It's not the purpose. The purpose of one of the exercises being the split squat, where the split squat is one of the main movements in gymnastics that we use, where lock out this back, like we square the hips up, feet are a split stance away, we externally rotate the thigh slightly, the toes slightly turned out because it replicates the squat, we're going forward and down. Split being the back leg where it's straight, and we drop down. Now if you're tight in the hip and you force yourself, so if I squeeze my butt as hard as I can, I lock my leg, that's my range. That is my physical range of movement. If I force this past its range, I'm going to strain my hip. So for me, I need to bend my knee, my back leg, so I have control to go down. Now, that is an indication that my hip flexor is the point of restriction for me. I haven't even gotten down range of my knee or my ankle. Split squat works on the integrity and mobility of the ankle, the knee, and the hip. If you're tight in one, does it give you the authority to then bypass it and just make the other two work harder? That doesn't make sense. Like imagine if you're in a race, there's three of you racing, you'll have to carry your equal weight. One of you slacks off. Well, the other two are going to get tired quicker and they get fatigued. So, yeah, understand that when we're doing these, coming up with these ideas or watching these people, we need to think, what is it that they're trying to do? Trying being the word. What is the message that's coming across? So, your toes, wherever they are, your knee should be able to get past. You have muscles around your quads and hamstrings that stabilize your knee in space. You should be able to do it, but you should not be forcing yourself to go past it. Now, you'll then say, some of you that are watching with, but Karl, what about the sissy squat or the hack squat? Fantastic question. Love it. Well, the sissy squat, for all intents and purposes, is where you are balancing, so you're on your toes, come up on your toes, and you're then pushing your knees forward, and your torso goes backwards. You should be able to touch the ground and come back up. That is an exercise that strengthens the rectus femoris. It is a fantastic exercise. Oh, and I'll show you the regression. So if you can't do it, you go onto your knees and you squeeze your butt and you just gently rock back. You pause and hold. You feel tension through the quads and back up. That's the regression bit. Now you'll notice that when doing the sissy squat, the hack squat, and you'll ask yourself, why is it called a sissy squat? Because when you get to end range, you just and you struggle. But when doing it, you're challenging your rectus femoris. It's the longer quad, attaches to the knee and the hip. You're wanting to build strength in it. It's actually one of the main reasons why a lot of people lack strength in their quads, because it's the longest muscle. They don't train it properly. They mostly sit on the butt most of the time, and so they're not using their legs. And a lot of the time when people go to sit up, they use their back to get up or use momentum to stand. So they go, huh, and they use that momentum. So they're not actually using the leg drive. So that's a difficult to talk about. But so that is a great exercise. But you'll notice it was also bilateral. So I was balanced on both feet. I was holding on to something. So at 2 feet, even though it was on the heels, yes, it's unstable at the ankles, but what's happening is I'm counterbalancing myself, leaning back as I push my knees and hips forward. So my torso goes back. So I'm looking to maintain balance. Single leg split squat, I do not balance on one leg, lean back as I balanced on one foot and push the knee forward. So please, when you're watching these exercises, think what's going on. So Chris Patrick, toes in the knee guy, great. I've actually watched some of his videos. Great form. His split squat, beautiful. Heel contacts the ground. He's pushing his knee. He has phenomenal ankle mobility. If you don't have that ankle mobility, that's probably where your limitation or restriction is. You could naturally have a big ankle and your joint does not glide that far. You don't have it. He's like, dude, shredded. He's small, like lean, structured guy, probably has a gymnastics background, has very good, fantastic hollow joints. But if you're someone who's super restricted and you're feeling like a hard block, You can't force that joint. Don't force it. There's no need to force the joint further. Like if this is the knee joint, the elbow and the knee, this is just a small version. But that I can't push past. Like I can force it. Why would I want to cause strain to myself? Like I got a great manual therapist, physio, chiro, manual therapist, chiro, muscle tester, ART practitioner, and dry needleist, like therapist Amy Mason, but I don't think she probably wants to deal with me tearing muscles and causing harm to myself when I could just work to my full range potential and not force it. I don't think anyone should ever force themselves into an uncomfortable position. So plug there if you're looking for someone like chiro, manual therapist, dry needleist, cold laser therapist, practitioner, muscle tester, and ART practitioner. Check out Amy Mason. Opening chiro. But yeah, so when we're looking at full range of movement, we're looking at the knees, tracking over the toes. Your foot should be contacted on the floor. Now, if we look, like the fingers are like the foot, we have a thing in our foot known as the tripod. Now, that's from the heel, so the heel of the foot, and then the big toe, little toe plant in the ground. So you've got this tripod foot, so that creates stability. And we sort of have the same thing with our hand. It's not the middle finger, which a lot of people think that's the middle of the hand. It's actually index finger. Because if you rotate your hand in and out, you'll notice that this index finger actually moves the least. Looks like it's moving more, but it moves the least. Because this and this, that's the heel of your hand, not the palm. Heel. So that anchors down, and then your pinky grabs. Sideways, if you're looking at doing handstands, you shouldn't measure up the center of your hand with your pinky, your middle finger, sorry. It should be actually your index finger. Actually opens up your shoulder so you can create more external rotation, be in a better position. So when you've got your foot, you have a tripod, big toe, little toe, heel, boom, and that helps grip the floor, and that puts you in a locked position. So you're nice and stable from the ankle. Now, if we take that out, or we're not stable anymore. Another way to think of it is if you have a cannon and we put it in a little canoe or a giant ship, and we fire the cannon out of the canoe, you'll probably flip the canoe. Okay, well, that's not very stable. Why would you fire a cannon from a canoe if it's just going to implode and blow up or flip your canoe? Great question. Why are you putting load on your back, forcing yourself to be on your tippy toes in a split squat and pushing it just so you can feel your bum touch your ankle? When physically your hamstring touches your calf, and that is physically the range. Don't know. But if you create a stable foot, square your hips, strengthen, engage your glutes, work on all those lovely things with the hip flexor, nice open hip, nice strong ankle, and then you push yourself to end range where your hamstring touches your calf. You're shooting that cannon from the big boat, very stable. Your knee may deviate inwards or outwards. If it's inwards, it's weakness through glute, or if it's outwards, possible weakness through abduction. But yeah, you've then created a stronger, more stable structure so your body can go through full range of movement. So when you do hold that load, you will then be safer. Less stability, higher risk of injury, more stability, greater reduction of injury. So yeah. So once you have done that, created a stable structure, the thing to ask yourself is, do you have the mobility? Now, you can have the ability to do the squats, so lift a heavy load, put a bar on your back, but you might not have the ability to do a split squat. So the second part to this is understanding what is the intention of the movement. If you are wanting to be a gymnast and you want to work on the splits, yes, do the split squats. You're going to have to work on the split squat itself. The thing to understand is, like I showed with the split squat, if this is my limitation, so squeeze, and that's as far as I go, like my knee is now in line with my toe, I can't go further because all the pulling is through here. This is known as mobility exercise, which is prepping me. Now, what will happen is this, not because I'm slacking on, I'm still squeezing my ass as hard as I can, I'm lifting my chest, but this is now starting to warm up. The Golgi tendon at either side of the muscle is tensioning, so it thinks that if I keep going further, I might tear the muscle. It's protecting me. You can hear my ankle clicking. So everything's starting to open up, and now I'm actually able to go deeper. But I'm still, I have to do the other side. What's happening is I'm still bending my back knee. So my hips and my quads are still pretty tight. So work the split squat, work that range of movement. You can do sissy squats, hack squats, but think about what are the splits. It's where both legs do that, split out. So if I'm doing a leg extension, is that going to strengthen that straightening of leg, the leg extension machine? Probably not. But if I work on an L-sit and I pull this knee up as high as I can whilst balancing on one leg and then I extend the leg out, I'm challenging my end range of movement. I'm getting my adductors involved, my rec fam, my quads, abs, because I might want to, like some people might run around that. You got to use your abs to stay up as upright as you can. Getting tired. So you got to think about the movement that you're working. Like, do you go onto a treadmill, run for 10 minutes to warm up your squat? If you're saying, yes, I do, how is a squat the same as squatting? Like, be specific. Feet hip width apart, arms out, squat. You might even know your arms out, just touch the floor. Start warming up the squat. Like, specific. It's like people saying, I want to eat a steak for dinner. And you go out and then you go and order a salad and you don't eat steak. I can see people going, what, Carl? That makes no sense. Exactly. It doesn't make sense. You're not being specific with the training or the purpose of the movement. Now, split squat. There is a squat movement in it. So using that to prep yourself to do squats. Well, yeah, of course. You could think about it this way. When you're squatting, you don't need your knees to pass an excessive movement. The thing is, when you squat, you're literally just going below parallel or your hamstring touches your calf. Now, to improve stability, would you want to have strength at just the end of your range? So think of the bicep curl. Would you want to be strong just here, even though there's a little bit more? Or would you rather have the strength to go through full range of movement plus a little bit more? And then have that strength to be able to go here, but know that you have the strength to go past it if it needs to, just that little bit. That's straight, that's locked out. But if I hyperextend just a little bit, I have that strength. That's the split squat. It's opening everything up. So you are going through full range of movement. You have 100% stability, strength, control. Because personally, if you look at, like, again, using Chris Patrick, because he's the guy, toes over knees over toes. So you got to give credit where credit's due. Toes over knees, knees over toes. He's probably got a gymnastics background, good looking rig. Can't fault the guy there, but he's looked at the body weight based movements. Right? He is building strength through full range of movement. He has control through full range of movement. That is strength, the ability to control full range of movement. If you are falling by the seat of your pants and you've just got enough strength just to get to end range, which is you're just doing the squat and you're working just to parallel, even though we know the hip. So if I can use this, that we only train to this point, but we know we have even more, so we can go below parallel. If we only train to this area we're going to be a lot weaker in. So that day we're like, oh, I'm a bit tired, and we don't listen to our bodies because we let ego get involved. We then go past it. Well, that's probably where the risk of injury is. But if you're utilizing the split squat to work that range of movement, improve it so you're actually extending your range of movement and control, which when you put a bar on your back and you start squatting, well, it's limited because it's completely different because your hips are now stable and they're not so twisted. Well, you're going to be more successful in that lift. So, yeah, exercise specific. So the split squat is used to prep the ankle, the knee, and the hip so you can improve mobility and integrity of your joints, because if you don't work the joints through full range of movement, there's not a flushing of synovial fluid, you're not lubricating through full range. Like if you only do this, well, you're only training your muscles to be able to do this. So over time, you'll possibly atrophy the biceps slightly, so it doesn't have the strength to do that. Like, what? No one would do that. You're like, why would I? You wouldn't, because you eat food. Unless you're like, I just don't want to eat. And, unless you want to get really good, like throwing peanuts and popcorn, then sure, cool. cool trick, but you'll still need this ability to put food in your mouth. Unless you blend everything, but still, like, you be with this straw, like hitting it in the face, we're going to get that straw in. No. Yes. 2, exercise specific. So you got to be specific with your exercises. Like, let's be realistic. Think of the movement. What is it you're working? If you want to get better at squatting, you got to do more squatting. Do variations of squats, scissor squats, hack squats, quad squats, Godzilla squats, renegade squats, Saltman squats, Zerker squats, split squats, single leg squats, shrimp squats, high bar squat, mid bar squat, back squat, low bar back squat, front squat, overhead squat, earthquake squat, safety bar squat, high heel elevated squat, heel elevated squat, front foot elevated squat, heel elevated split squat, toe elevated split squat. Why would you do toe elevated split squat? Because you're putting more demand through the tension of the Achilles and the calf, because that's the area. But I think you should just superset calf raises with split squats. But again, it depends. Bulgarian split squats, normal split squats, low cable attachment split squats, low cable attachment D handles, squats, goblet squats, offset squats, sissy squats. Sissy squats, yeah, I've already said sissy squats. Box squats, eccentric negative squats. So that's like, what is that one? That's one where, like, you've reached the potential with your own strength, so you're lifting about 2 times your body weight, and you want to bypass it, but you also want to build speed and power. So when you're lifting the weight, you've got like hooks on, and so you put the hooks on. There's about 20-30 kilos to eccentrically load the muscle. Then when the hooks touch the ground, they unhook off the bar, and then you're lifting like 60 kilos less, and then you should be very explosive on the way out. Because when you create elastic, when you're creating, stretch an elastic band, we're creating elastic tension. We bounce out of it, and we become more explosive because obviously we've got more load. But the way to think of this is, if you have a elastic band and you pull on it and you hold it, it loses its power. So this is why adding pauses in any of these squats can be really good to create tightness and to get you stronger and more confident at the bottom of a movement. Now, at no point would you then chuck more weight on or sitting at the bottom. There's high risk there. Just like the split squats, bouncing ballistically or throwing random stuff at you, you're controlling these movements. You should always be in control. Fundamentals for success with any training method is progressive load over time, and that can mean sets and reps or load, time under tension, so control full range of movement, and just being able to maintain that time and tension. You should be able to pause at any point in time. This is why I'm really heated about a lot of people putting these knees over toes, and they're creating these instability positions and telling everyone they should do this to increase range of movement and demand of the vastus medialis, so you've improved knee stability. There's more than one muscle that, and also they say it's vastus medialis oblique. It's not a VMO, it's not an oblique muscle, it's vastus medialis. It's not a VMO, it's vastus medialis. So it's not oblique to the knee, it's just like, but they're pushing themselves past their range of movement into an unstable position, which I'm not a fan of. And also, haven't looked at everything with Chris Patrick's, but I've looked at his range of movement. He's, boom, foot stable on the ground. And that, if this is what people are mimicking of, they're missing the context of what he's showing. And I probably am a little bit as well. But come on, practice what you preach properly, not just do random stuff to get likes. It really annoys me that people do that. So yes. Are there any other squats out there? There's like 21 different types of squats. Actually, I lie. Bone claw, cable, dumbbell, kettlebell. There's 84 versions of squats. Yeah. Oh, you could incorporate the beltless squat, which alleviates pressure off the lumbar. So 85. Lots of squats. So specificity, bring it all the way back, being specific with the movement. You need to ask yourself how much range of movement when you're performing the squat, the ass to grass, And then you've got to incorporate the spine. Like everyone talks about this neutral spine, but the thing is, when you squat, body weight, you can, like your pelvis can tuck because there's no load on the spine there, like just your body weight. But when you put a bar on your back, you have now forces going through that spine. You now force these tucks and ups and rolls. Yeah, no, there's no need for it. No, like if you're training to build strength through full range of movement, working through your body weight, I get that. But when you're training for strength or hypertrophy and you're incorporating load, there is, again, progressive overload at time, full range of movement, time and attention, right? Full range of movement, time and attention on that muscle, no pain. Those are those fundamentals to progress when training. So when looking at a gymnastics-based movement, you can increase time and attention with pauses. You can increase that full range of movement to a point because the joint's in the way. You can't shave your joint off to increase range of movement. If you feel a hard block, you might feel a soft block because it's muscle tension. You like lift your arm up, you can feel there's some tension in your back, but it doesn't feel rock hard. It's not this. That's because your rhomboids, your external rotators, all these muscles are stopping you from going further. Why? They don't know how to go that far. But get dry needling on it. You can contract that muscle. You all saw it with my split squat before. I worked it, warmed everything up, and I started going deeper. If you're not warmed up, body's not going to let you do it. The body's smart. It doesn't want you to mess it up. It doesn't want you to hurt yourself. Because then if you hurt yourself, then what are you going to do? Nothing. Discussions, no comments. But yeah, like, oh, it annoys me. So yeah, look at the movement. So when you're looking at these people, ask yourself, what is the context? Is this going to help improve my squat? Is forcing my knee past its range of movement on an unstable ankle, unstable surface with load, is that going to be the best bet? Is it going to help improve my quad strength whilst helping me squat? Well, are you squatting? Yes, I'm doing a split squat. Are you doing the movement that you want to do, which is both feet flat, slight external rotation, straight down, straight up for a normal squat? No, split squat is not it. But if you're using it to improve ankle mobility, knee health, and hip mobility, yes, do split squats all day. Use it as a warm-up tool. I love it. Most people hate it. I personally hate it when I have to do 20 reps, but if coach says do that, coach, I will do that. Yes, 20 reps per leg. 30 kilos each hand. But that's what I got to do because I'm doing it to grow muscle. But why not do lunges? Well, our lunges don't promote full range of movement in the ankle and the knee. I want to promote that. I could go heavier if I did lunges, but I want to make sure I maximize. Like I want to work through the range that I have. Yes, my ankle is a restriction. I have to warm it up plenty of times, but that's what I have to deal with. I do not push the knee past that limitation. So it is like an in-between of a split and a lunge, but it's not the full. Because again, my knee does touch the ground. I'm not going to dig a hole so I can go deeper. What I could do is I could do sissy squats so I can improve then that range of movement through my knees, but that is scary. And it's not what coach said, so ha ha ha. But I program that for clients because I want to work on building their strength through full range of movement, and then I will go into squats. Yep. Or accessory assisted squats where I work just range of movement and body weight and just go for reps. So yeah, be specific with your movement. Ask yourself, what is the purpose? What is the intention? And lastly, like if you're going on a treadmill to warm up, like just walking on a flat, and you're not putting it on 15-degree incline and really forcing yourself through plantar dorsiflexion to improve mobility of your ankles. Cross trainer, elliptical, raw, yeah, you're going to get your arms moving. But why not just do some squats? Save yourself the 10 minutes. Do 10 reps every minute on the minute for 10 minutes. You'll be more warmed up than you are on the cardio. So, or bench press if you're warming up for bench press. Like, I don't get it. 3, the last point is stop stretching. Foam rolling. Yes, you have a placebo feeling better. Don't stretch. But Carl, the split squat puts stretch through the hip flexor. Yes, but there's a difference between mobilizing the joint, so working through range of movement, you feel in range, which is causing that stretch, and actually holding a static hold for 60 seconds where you're relaxing into it. But Carl, what about a pausing in an isometric position? Yes, but that is where you're going to end range to work the weakness of the muscle, and you're holding a contraction. You're not holding it in a passive stretch, which then is allowing the muscle to stretch into a greater position where you don't have control of either range. So you're actually now putting yourself in a compromised position. Because if you then go to put the same weight that you normally put on the bar that you were able to do the week before where you didn't stretch, well, now you're at a high risk of injury. Instead, work mobility, work through the range of movement that you have. And the more you work through that range of movement, fascia, connective tissue joints open up a little bit, and then you'll have more mobility, but also you'll be warm, not stretched, so you'll still have the strength and integrity of that joint. Lastly to that is, why is that muscle tight? Because it's compensating for something. For example, your hip flexors are tight. It's because your glutes are lazy. Why would your glutes be lazy? I am sitting on my butt. That is forcing the glutes to stretch out. My hip flexors are in a shortened position, so therefore, they're naturally going to be tighter. You want them to open up. You know, you got to ask yourself, why are my ankles tight? Well, I sit at a desk at 90 degrees. My knee does not go past my toes. Therefore, I don't really work through that range of movement. That's probably why my ankles are tight. Not because I have an issue with my knee. It's just because I never put my knee through that range of movement. Like you find a lot of Asian cultures, they squat ass to grass, play in the dirt. They're there for ages and they're comfortable. Their pelvis tucks under. They don't have back pain. Just because I'm Irish means genetically I'm not able to do that. Well, and look, I see a lot of people and they say, you can't actually do that, Carl. I say, because no, personally I want to squat ass to grass and I'm always on a mission to work my ankles and open everything up. Yes, I've been told I have a hard block, but I will constantly persevere and move forward to constantly improve my body. Can't squat ass to grass, feet together. I'll just go feet wider. We'll get there. So, yes. Rant over. Thanks for tuning in, for everyone. Hope you enjoyed. As always, there has been no questions so far. There's the other part of this is questions, Q&A. Are there any questions? Have there been any miscellaneous questions? No, there has not. So there we go. Q&A wrapped up nicely. As always, thank you for tuning in. Have a lovely evening and enjoy your week ahead. Till next time, adios, amigos.